Welcome to all. Hi children, how are you all? Hope you are all fine. I am here for the geography class. Today we are going to see Northern Great Plains under the subtopic Physiographic Divisions of India. In this picture we can see the green shaded areas are the Great Northern Plains. The Great Northern Plains are situated to the south of the Himalayas. These plains are also known as the Indo-Gangetic Plains. This plain is one of the most extensive stretches of the alluvium in the world and is deposited by the rivers Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra and their tributaries. The total extension of the Great Northern Plain is 2,400 kilometers. The length of the plain is about 2,400 kilometers and width varies from 240 to 320 kilometers. The length of the plain is about 2,400 kilometers and width varies from 240 to 320 kilometers. Its width increases from east to west. It covers an area of over 7 lakh square kilometers. Let me repeat again. It covers an area of over 7 lakh square kilometers. They are formed mostly by the depositional process of the Himalayan and Vindhyan rivers. They are formed mostly by the depositional process of the Himalayan and Vindhyan rivers. First, we can see the Babar Plains. This plain is made up of gravels and unassorted sediments deposited by the Himalayan rivers. The porosity of this plain is so high that most of the small streams flow over this region disappear. It lies to the south of the Shivalik from west to east. That means Jammu division to Assam. Its width varies from 8 to 15 kilometers. So width of the Babar Plains varies from 8 to 15 kilometers. It is wider in the western plains. It is wider in the western plains. Jammu division, it is more wider than in the east. That is Assam division. The Bangar Plains. The Bangar represent the upland alluvial tracts of Great Plains of India formed by the older alluvium. Bangar here means older alluvium. The Bangar land lies above the floods limits of the rivers. It is dark in color, well drained, rich in humus content and useful for agriculture. The Kadar Plains. The new alluvium tracts along the courses of the rivers are known as Kadar or wetlands. The Kadar tracts are enriched by fresh deposits of silt every year during rainy season. Kadar here means new alluvium. The Kadar land consists of sand, silt, clay and mud. It is highly fertile soil. The Delta Plains. The Delta Plain is an extension of Kadar land. It covers about 1.9 lakh square kilometers in the lower reaches of the Ganga river. It is an area of deposition, so the river flows here slowly. The Delta Plain consists of many of the old mud, new mud and marsh. The deltaic region is divided into two. The uplands are called chars. The marshy areas are called bills. Next topic is the peninsular plateaus. Let's see the peninsular plateau in the map. Peninsular plateau lies to the south of the Northern Mountains. It is the largest physiographical divisions of our country. It covers an area of 16 lakh square kilometers. It is also known as Old Rocky region. Let's see few important plateaus are found in India. They are Malwa Plateau, Chota Nagpur Plateau, and Deccan Plateau. For exam point of view, these three plateaus are very, very important. Other important plateaus are Bundelkhand Plateau, Baghelkhand Plateau, Karnataka Plateau is here, Karnataka Plateau. Here Telangana Plateau is located here. Dandakaranya Plateau is here. Shillong Plateau is also here. The general slope of this plateau is towards east, which is the tallest peak of peninsular India. The tallest peak of peninsular India is Anaimudi. Anaimudi is located in Anaimalai Hills. Here one question is also arising here, which is the tallest peak of India. Already we studied here, Godwin Austen or Mount K2 is the tallest peak of India. The peak of Anaimudi is the highest point in the plateau. Its height is 2695 meters and is located in Anaimalai. The river Narmada divides the Deccan Plateau into two divisions. They are the Central Highlands and the Deccan Plateau. The north of the Narmada river is known as Central Highlands and south of the Narmada river is known as Deccan Plateau. The next topic is the Central Highlands. Next we can see the Central Highlands. The area between Narmada and Northern Great Plains are known as Central Highlands. The Aravallis are found on the west of the Central Highlands. These hills extend from Gujarat through Rajasthan to Delhi for a distance of 700 kilometers. The Narmada river divides the Deccan Plateau into two divisions. They are Central Highlands and Deccan Plateau. The height of these hills is about 1500 meters in southwest, while near Delhi the height is hardly 400 meters. Guru Shikhar with 1722 meters is the highest peak in Central Highlands. In the state of Rajasthan, Guru Shikhar is located. The western part of the Central Highland is known as the Malwa Plateau. It lies to the southeast of Aravallis and north of the Vindhyachal range. Before they join the river Yamuna, the rivers such as Chambal, Bedwa and Ken flows through the Malwa Plateau. The part of the Central Highland which extends to the east of Malwa Plateau is known as Bundelkhand and further extension is known as Baghelkhand. The eastern part of the Central Highland is known as Chota Nagpur Plateau. It covers some places, some regions of Jharkhand, adjacent part of Odisha, West Bengal, Bihar and Chhattisgarh. This region is very rich in mineral resources such as iron ore and coal. This is the end of today's section. Thank you. Have a great day.